Howdy gang, we are going to talk about the 30, 60, 90 special right triangle. This is very important because the 30-degree angle, the 60-degree angle, the 90-degree angle are going to have huge significance when we get into trigonometry and in future trigonometry classes. Now, we have to understand where this triangle comes from and how we can build it. The first thing we're going to use is an equilateral triangle. So we're going to use that equilateral triangle because I need an angle that's 60 degrees. That's the only thing that I really can get out of this. So I'm going to draw the best approximation of an equilateral triangle. And now I'm going to give it a side length. The side is equal to 2. So this is a 2, this is a 2, and this guy right here is a 2. Now, I have 60 degrees here. That helps me out. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop an altitude. So drop an altitude. That is also a perpendicular bisector. That'll give me 90 degrees, and since these two angles have to add up to be 90 degrees because they are the acute angles, 60 degrees out of 90 means I got my 30 degrees here. Now, since this altitude is also a perpendicular bisector, it's going to bisect this side into two equal parts. If the entire thing is 2, this would be 2 divided by 2, which is equal to 1. So now, the longest side is 2, the shortest side is 1, and I have to find out what the actual height is. The theorem, Pythagorean theorem. Now, remember, it's leg squared plus leg squared. I don't know what that is. I'll give it an h. So 1 squared plus h squared, and that's going to be equal to 2 squared. So 1 plus h squared is equal to 4 squared minus 1. No, not 4 squared, just 4. Use the reflexive property. Excuse me, I messed that one up pretty good, but I'm not going to start over because I think we'll be okay. 1 minus 1 is 0, so I have an h squared, and that's equal to 4 minus 1, which is 3. Now, if I have h squared, I need to take the square root of h, which means I have to also take the square root of 3. The square root of h squared is h, which is the square root of 3. And so I get my square root of 3 here. So, my 30, 60, 90 triangle, there's 60, there's 30, there's 90, that's a 1, that's a 2, and that's a square root of 3. And if we want to expand this to a bigger, if we want to dilate it larger, multiply it by a scale factor, I drew a nice bigger one, that's still 60, that's still 30, that's still 90 degrees. Now, don't measure them because they're probably not exactly that. I would say that this is 1 times x, this is 2 times x, and this is x times the square root of 3. So, there's your 30, 60, 90 triangle, and that's where it comes from. I don't ask you to memorize much, but memorize this and this, and you'll be okay. Know what side is opposite 60. 60 is the square root of 3. 90 is 2. 30 is 1. Those are what you're going to have to memorize, the opposites from each angle. But that is it.